It's only taken me 2 hours of deleting random stuff, but hello! Welcome to another video. So this week it's something a little basic, but it's something that I think is good for the start of the channel. I posted on my Instagram story to put in some questions for you guys to ask me, and I would answer them in a Q&A. So that's what this video is about, alright? So let's get straight into it. Alright, so it's My Kira asked, what are your future plans for YouTube? So, hopefully, I'm going to college to pursue the career in nursing that I want. I want to be a midwife, but hopefully I can make this my first form of income and maybe my only. That's a really big aspiration, but I feel like this is a really fun way to express myself and explore the world and share it with all of you. So I feel like this is something that perfectly fits my personality, and hopefully I can keep on doing and working on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Levi_LeviM said, how's your college experience going so far? It's going. It's definitely going. But no, I mean, overall, I feel like my university has handled being online really well. Especially because I feel like we had other courses built for like international students around the world, students online, part-time, all of that. So I feel like our transition was a little easier. But nonetheless, I feel like for my major, for the nursing major, they still made it very rigorous and engaging. I just think that for me personally, staring at a computer for 8 hours a day is very, very torturous, and I got a lot of migraines staring with all the blue light and everything. But I made sure to take breaks and do what I could, but I feel like I did fine. I found out how to work with my mental health and my migraines and my workload, being able to handle all of it, things like that. I just feel bad for the seniors in high school who are supposed to be having all the fun stuff, and the freshmen going into high school, getting used to public school. But overall, I mean, I feel like it's been good for me. Leave in the comments how you guys have felt about the college experience or the high school experience, whatever experience you're going through right now. Shout out to the healthcare workers and the essential workers. Forever Madison said, what is one of your goals for this year that you want to accomplish? So this is something that my brother told me about that I really want to use this year for. It's figuring out my big why. So I kind of have an idea of it, and maybe I'll post a video dedicated just to my big why. But I want to figure out like what drives me, what my purpose in this world is, whether that be through YouTube, through a podcast, all of that, and figuring out like what's best for me. Really understanding myself, using quarantine and this past year to really understand myself and just continue that journey. Also, just to, get in shape. I've fluctuated up and down with my weight over the years. I've been at a really good weight, but also have struggled a lot with like health, and exercising consistently. So I just need to work on that, which I'm starting right now. But also, I understand that January 1st does not mean that everything is going to get sorted out immediately. I'm not a person who really puts a timestamp on things or says, oh, I'm going to start doing this then. I understand, and part of it is understanding that it's a much more gradual process, and also nothing's immediate, and it's a lot about success and fail. And of course, this is all my goals for right now, but that's going to change a lot over time, and I'm going to add and remove goals as time goes on. So, ExoBella03 said, what's your routine on a good day? I can't really give you a straight answer because I feel like it varies with each day, but also comment if you want me to do a morning and night routine video for each of those. Because on a good day, I mean, I would say like my morning routine is literally just like playing with my dogs and drinking coffee, because sometimes my mom's there for me to talk to, sometimes not, because usually I'll just catch up with her. And then I just go upstairs and do like what I have planned for the day, but each day is a different plan. Generally, it's like the beginning half of the week is dedicated to YouTube, and the later half of the week is dedicated to podcasting, and then I work in between, and then I exercise every day. That's pretty much it. And then my night routine is generally like shower, eat dinner, be on my phone, maybe color or do like a dot to dot thing to decompress before I go to sleep. But I generally don't have enough time for that just because I'm so exhausted. And if I remember to wash my face, I'll do that, but I don't really do that specifically at night. That's another thing that I want to do, is like have a more consistent routine, just because I'm a person who's so built on routines and feels a lot more mentally stable with routines. Even if it's not super rigid, just like having an idea, at least in the morning and night. The middle of the day doesn't have to be consistent. It's just the morning and night that I need something to like wake me up and decompress with consistently. Lucia_Galp said, you said you were in college at 17. How does that work? So, I skipped a year. I skipped my junior year. And the reason I was able to do that is because my school was a 7 to 12 school, 7th to 12th grade, and I transferred in 8th grade. But skipping a year I did because I was in Algebra 1 in 8th grade, and I tested into a math double period that was Algebra 2 and Pre-Calculus. So I was done almost all of my math credits after sophomore year. And so I used any extra math credits I had as the extracurricular credits, kind of, and then I used any extra language credits for arts and humanities, because we only had 2 languages, Spanish and Mandarin, and I speak both of them. So I tested into the highest level of Spanish and used that as an arts and humanities credit. And there was an issue with the language aspect, the language credits, because I tested out of Spanish 1 and 2 and out of Chinese 1 and 2. But right as I tested out of it, my school district changed the policy saying that testing out doesn't count as qualifying for the credit. So what we did instead is, because I was taking Chinese 3 honors, that qualified as Chinese 3 and 4 because I tested out of it successfully. So I knocked out a lot of credits through that, and then my school had the option of doing 4 math and 3 science credits, or 3 math and 4 science credits. So I did 4 math, and I had that done by sophomore year, and I had 2 science credits done. So I did science credit, and then I took another math class, but I just use that as an extracurricular thing. And do your clubs. My best advice is do your clubs, because clubs can add as half credit, 3/4 of a credit, 1/4 of a credit, and because I had that also helped me get my arts and humanities done. That's the best advice I can give. Next set of questions from A.Seal. Favorite color, gray. I also like white and baby blue, and I also definitely had a purple phase, but I would say gray is my favorite color just because it's really serene and it's a versatile color, and even though it's, I think there was a meme I saw once that said it was dark white, it still brightens up a room. Like I have 2 sides that are blue, but the other 2 are gray, and I feel like it really lengthened a room and opened it up, versus white, which really just kind of washed it out and seemed pretty basic. Dream City, Bodrum, my hometown. That is a place that I wish I could live there. But the current political standing is not one that I feel safe living in. Otherwise, I would have found a way to go to university in Germany or Istanbul and then moved there. And hopefully I can move there in the future or visit there more frequently. But I needed to learn Turkish first. But Bodrum is definitely my favorite place. If I said any other town, the reason it would be is because it reminds me of Bodrum. So Bodrum is number 1. Otherwise, in the US, I would say New York City, but it's too expensive to live there, even with the career I want to pursue. Last from Asil is favorite show, and that would be Law and Order, just because I lived off of that show in my preteens, and it's just something that I'm used to. I really like mystery. I really like true crime. I love the psychology behind it, all that you can learn, and that a lot of it is based off true events, and it really raises awareness for not just the victim side, but the criminal side and what the people have to go through in between. And I just find it really interesting. I mean, otherwise, I really like comedy, but I don't watch a lot of it. I used to watch a lot of Gabriel Iglesias, a lot of Kevin Hart, and my uncle got me onto Dave Chappelle recently. But yeah, generally just Law and Order, otherwise like Chicago, the Chicago trilogy, Chicago PD, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, and CSI Miami, because I like that as they discover different things, like different things that lead them to the criminal in the show, they like play back different scenes of the crime, and at the end, once they finally figure out who it is and they get him, they play the full scene of what occurred in the crime. And I find that just like so cool, because it's really like I like the time jumps. I love time jumps in shows. So America's also submitted a couple questions and said, what inspired you to make a podcast? So again, I feel like expression, my biggest thing in the world is expression and learning different things about the world so that you can express yourself differently and understand yourself as well. So I feel like I wanted to do something related to words and psychology, mental health, just life in general. So I thought that I should do something psychology related, understanding different mental health and how that can apply to yourself. And nowadays, the most modern form of outreach to people is podcasts. And it's a way that like you can play it in the background while doing something else and still listen, but it doesn't take too much of your attention away. So I thought podcasting was a really good thing to do, especially because of how much I enjoyed it and how much you can really get it out to different platforms, just because like just from using one piece of software. She also said any New Year's resolutions, and princess._Leia_ said New Year's resolutions as well. So what I said for Forever Madison's question was kind of pretty much it. I don't really put a timestamp on New Year's on things, so for the new year, it's kind of stuff I already had planned. I don't really like to push things off for a certain date. I'm pretty much I think of it, I do it, I get it done person. So YouTube was a thing I wanted to start in the new year. I want to get my podcast to 300 plays, YouTube, maybe 100 subscribers. That's not going to be within the year. Hopefully it comes sooner. It's just, those are my current things, and things are definitely going to be added and removed as I go along. So, yeah, so getting in shape is one of those things. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And the last question is from Princess Leia as well, and she said the idea of a healthy relationship. And I feel like I really can't speak on this, and also I'm not a licensed professional to assess this type of thing in any way, shape, or form, but based on my personal experience, I feel like, and this is also like thinking of my past relationships with people and my own part in the relationship, just because I have a lot to hold myself accountable for. And again, I am not perfect. I cannot judge anyone or any person's relationship, but this is just my personal experience. I think that a healthy relationship involves communication, one, but not just communication with the other person, communication with yourself and holding yourself accountable. Accountability and honesty are key, because you have to understand that sometimes they're going to be toxic, sometimes you're going to be toxic, and it's all about growing together and individually. You have to be able to be a unit together, but also be able to spend time apart. You don't want to be codependent on each other, because it can get really toxic. You don't want to look to them for gratification. You want to be able to have that confidence in yourself, and they just add to it. Because really just a relationship is an addition to your life, and it's something that you can have for the rest of your life, but also you need to be able to live with yourself and be your own person. You don't want to rely on someone else. And the best thing I can say is also, you want to stick to your own values. You want to know your morals and values before going into a relationship, but also understand that the other person is a whole other sentient being. So you want to be able to talk to them and be able to find a compromise and work together for both of you. And so you want to stick to yourself, but also be a little flexible. And last thing that is very psychological, but I really think is important, is learning the person's love language. So there's physical touch, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and words of affirmation. And I would say my top two are physical affection and gifts. But gifts not in that it's a superficial thing of just like a sugar daddy almost. It's like, oh, this thing made me think of you, so I got it. Or like literally sending memes at 3 a.m. Like something like that. It doesn't have to be like, it's not as straightforward as you think, but even if the person has a different love language than you, being able to like buy gifts or do things related to that will be really important to show affection. Even if you've like just had an argument, being able to translate what you're thinking into something they can understand is so important, because then they'll also do the same. You want to treat others how you want to be treated, because then you'll get that same feeling back. Whew. Overall, these were some really good questions. They weren't many, but they were still really good. So thank you to everyone who submitted. I love you all. You guys did really good. Keep sending them my way. Hope they can do another Q&A at some point. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys liked this, please like the video, comment, subscribe, the whole shebang. Follow me on Instagram. Also look at my podcast, Baby Sis. There's also an Instagram for that. Yeah. That's it for this week. Another week, another episode, as they say on the podcast. But I guess another week, another video for this. Yeah, I'll post the vlog and, try to stay as active as possible, I love you guys. I'll see you next week or next video. Bye.